Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tosef here. I am back with another live stream. The time right now is 11:26 p.m. So late at night, and I have some important things to share with you, which is why I'm here doing this live stream. So as you are joining, please um, introduce yourself, write your first name in the chat window, and let me know what city, what state you're from. This is something that I always encourage my viewers to do, is to introduce yourself. If you want to share your first name, that's wonderful. The city and the state that you're from, that's wonderful. That allows me to address you directly, and I'm just in general curious which city, what states my viewers are tuning in from. So, my friends, as you are joining, um, just introduce yourself. I would appreciate that. I have some important things I want to share. As you may have seen, the title of this live stream is New Endorsements. Is the Trump team becoming stronger? Now, you can always share with me your thoughts, your opinions, um, your comments, and I will share with you my views on this matter. And feel free to express your agreement or disagreement. My friends, I want to talk about the power of the Trump team. And when I say the Trump team, it doesn't just mean the Trump campaign team. Obviously, Donald Trump is running for president. This is not the first time that he's running for president. Donald Trump served as the president in the past, so he's a former president, and hopefully he's going to be the president again. So as he's running his campaign, he's got a campaign team. He's got campaign officials, campaign staff. They are part of his team. But that's not the team I'm talking about today. And of course, there are advisors who are working with Trump on his campaign. But I'm not talking about his advisors either. I'm also not talking about the donors who are contributing to Donald Trump's campaign. There are many donors, big and small. There are people who make small donations, $5, $10, $20, $40. And then there are also people who, really wealthy people who spend a lot of money supporting Trump. But I'm not talking about the Trump's campaign team. I'm not talking about his campaign advisors. I'm not talking about his campaign donors. I am talking about influential voices who have expressed their support for Donald Trump. People with strong voices, people with very influential positions in society. Those are the individuals I'm talking about. And I'm going to discuss a few names, and there are many more. So please stay connected with me and share with me your thoughts. By the way, I see many people have joined, so I want to welcome you all. Frank is here. Frank, thank you for joining. Sam, Michael Teal writes, very interesting perspective. My friends, I do pay attention to the live chat window, and anyone who has tuned into my videos before would know that I try to keep up with the comments. I try to read your comments. I try to respond. If you ask me questions, I'll try to give you my answers. As I am discussing, as I have my talking points, things I want to share with you, I also pay attention to the live chat window. So please stay connected with me. I would appreciate that. If there are lots of comments, I may not be able to address all the comments, but I obviously do my best to keep up with the comments. So Michael Thiel writes, very interesting perspective. Thank you, Michael. Sam writes, Trump, Trump, Trump. I agree. Trump 2024. Daniel is writing, Merry Christmas. Daniel, it's not Christmas time yet, is it? Christmas is in December. But thank you for tuning in. Michael writes, preach, brother. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Please subscribe and stay connected to my channel, all right? Let's see. Let's see some other comments. Frank writes, did you say wealthy people? Yeah, I did say wealthy people. People who have a lot of wealth. Okay. Let's see. I see a lot of other comments. Michael writes, let's see. Michael, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, by the way, I'm going to, for those who want to connect with me, I just posted my website address, tausifanam.net. Okay, and if you want my email address, let me give you my email address if you want to send me emails. tausif@tausifanam.net. That's my email address. Okay. All right. Let's see some comments here. Well, wonderful. I see a lot of people tuned in today. Thank you so very much. Larry writes, are you having a good day? My day has been good so far, Larry. Yesterday I was very sick. I ended up in the urgent care center, but I'm recovering. I'm doing okay now. So thank you. All right. A viewer writes, do you ever invite people on to talk? Yes, I did invite guests on my channel. So if you go to my channel and you look at my live videos, if you scroll through my live videos, then you'll see that I had several guests on my channel, including candidates for Congress, including incumbent elected officials and other candidates for state legislative offices. So yes, I did have guests on my channel, and I hope to have more guests on my channel in the future. Okay, so you can go and look at my previous videos. All right. So my friends, as I was saying, I am talking about influential voices who have expressed their support for Trump. Okay? There are strong and popular and influential people who have expressed their support for Donald Trump. And it seems like more and more powerful voices are supporting Trump. For example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk endorsed Donald Trump. On July 13th of 2024, Elon Musk wrote on X. X is formerly known as Twitter. Elon Musk wrote, I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery. This was right after Donald Trump was wounded in Butler, Pennsylvania. And remember how Donald Trump stood up and boldly raised his fist and he said, fight, fight, fight. Remember that? See, when Elon Musk wrote, I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery, Elon Musk did not write former President Trump. He did not use the word former. We know that Donald Trump, as of now, he's a candidate for president, but he's also a former president. But in his post, Elon Musk did not use the word former. He did not write former President Trump. He did not write presidential candidate Trump. Elon Musk wrote President Trump. And I interpret that as the following. Elon Musk highlighted that Trump served as the president and also gave hope to the people that he will be president again. And that's why Elon Musk wrote, I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery. My friends, I'm going to pause for a few moments as I look at the live chat window. Are there any questions that you want to ask me? Let's see. Let me see. Oh, lots of comments today. It's hard for me to keep up with all the comments that I'm receiving. By the way, if you support Trump, please write Trump 2024 in the live chat window. Okay, that will tell me just visually as I'm looking at the live chat window, it'll let me see how many people here support Trump. A viewer wrote Trump 2024. My friend Terry Dunlap just tuned in. Terry says, good evening, Tassif. Terry, it's so wonderful to see that you're here. Terry from South Dakota, my good friend, always a great supporter. Thank you, Terry, for tuning in. Charles writes, Trump 2024. Wonderful. Jay writes, Trump, Trump, Trump. Oh, I also see a comment. Somebody wrote, never Trump. Oh, you're writing never Trump. Why? Would you please explain why you don't want to see Trump as president? So Terry writes, I'm happy to have Trump work RFK Jr. into his administration. Terry, there's a lot of anticipation about, RFK Jr.'s involvement. People are trying to figure out, okay, will RFK Jr. be in Trump's cabinet if Trump is elected president again? Let's see. Okay. I see more comments. I see a comment, I like Trump. Wonderful, that's great. See a lot of Trump supporters here. That is awesome. But hey, as I always tell people, as I always tell my viewers, you don't have to agree with me all the time. If you disagree with me, please share with me your thoughts about why you disagree with me. I always emphasize the fact that we must exercise our freedom of speech. We have the right to free speech. We must exercise that right. And I always want, my channel to be a place where people get to share diverse viewpoints, okay? So, I am a conservative, I'm a Republican. I want to see Trump elected president again, Trump 2024, as I ask people to write if they support Trump. But if you don't support Trump for whatever reason, I want to hear from you. What is it that prevents you from supporting Trump? You can share with me your thoughts. The way I see it, Trump supports energy independence. Trump puts America first and Americans first. We have to take care of our veterans. Trump loves our veterans. And I'm sure if Trump is elected to office, he's going to do the best that he can to help and support our veterans. And Trump, remember when Trump was in office, we had a great economy. Inflation was not a problem. Prices were, low. Grocery was affordable. As I mentioned, gas prices were low. People could afford gas and make long trips. Supply chain issues were not there. Obviously, in 2020, after COVID hit, there were disruptions. But overall, everything was good. People could afford to buy homes. A lot of young professionals nowadays cannot even imagine, being able to buy a home. Why? Because mortgage rates are up. Because the real estate market has changed drastically since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came to office. And, look at the world. Look beyond the borders of the United States. We see so much of conflict, so much of tension, and social and political unrest in different countries around the world. That was not the case when Trump was in office. I mean, there's always going to be some conflict and some unrest somewhere in the world, right? But for the most part, the world was quite a peaceful place when Trump was in office, and US leadership is vital for peace and prosperity around the world. We are the global leader. And so if America has a strong president, if America is strong, if America is able to be the leader that it is, then the world becomes a more peaceful and prosperous place. And when Trump was in office, we had such great relationship with our international allies. And Trump supports a strong military. And so that's why I support Trump. And the list is long. There are so many other reasons why I support Trump, why I am looking forward to voting for him. But if for whatever reason you think that you don't support Trump, I want to hear from you. Tell me why you don't support Trump. Tell me what it is that keeps you from supporting Trump. I want to hear your thoughts. Now, I've talked enough. I have more things I want to share, but I want to pause and look at the live chat window. So let me pause for a few moments. I've got my phone in front of me that I'm using for the live stream, but then I've got my laptop next to me. And so let me look at the comments here. Wow, lots of comments. I don't think I'll be able to go through all the comments here, but I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right. Let me see. Terry writes, Kennedy can do his work for kids, health, food safety in Food and Drug Administration. Terry, great point. RFK Jr., and I'm actually going to talk about RFK Jr. very soon. That's on my list. But RFK Jr., I think, is going to be a great addition in the Trump administration, okay? If Trump is elected president and if Trump decides to include RFK Jr. in his administration, I think it's going to be great. Let's see. Terry writes, we can't, right? Okay. We can't go social medicine as in Canada. People wait too long for appointments, even though it's free. Terry, I am a healthcare policy analyst by training. I've studied healthcare policy for a very long time. I still do. And I can tell you that Democrats, they have this idea of Medicare for all. They want socialized medicine. That is not the right way to go. That is not the right way to go. The more control the government has over healthcare, the worse the outcomes are going to be in society, health outcomes, because, Medicare is there for a reason, Medicaid is there for a reason. We have to improve those programs. But to say Medicare for all, that's wrong. It's not going to work, okay? Because we need the private market. We need, the private sector involved in healthcare, private insurance, okay? That's very much needed. So if a Democrat says, if a Democrat supports getting rid of private insurance and just having socialized medicine, having Medicare for all, it's not going to work. You hear the word single payer, not the word, the term single payer. Single payer is not going to work, okay? We need the private market. I mean, especially when you look at Medicare Advantage, we see that there's, a great deal of satisfaction with Medicare Advantage. Now, obviously, within Medicare, people have different thoughts and opinions. Some people like the original Medicare, fee-for-service. Others like Medicare Advantage. Different people have different preferences. So, we have to have options in the market. And to say Medicare for all and to say socialized medicine, that's just wrong. So, whatever Canada has may or may not work for Canada, their healthcare system. But in the United States, we believe in options. We believe in choices, okay? So we must make improvements in the healthcare sector, but we should not do Medicare for all. It's not going to work. Okay, and I can go into details, but that means if I go into details, we're going to be here for hours talking about, healthcare. Somebody is asking me about Ann Coulter. I have not seen whatever statement it is that you're referring to. I haven't seen that statement by Ann Coulter. So I'm not able to comment on that, but I'm going to look it up. And then maybe I can comment on it. But if you have a link that you want to share, like a news article or a news report that mentions what you're referring to about Ann Coulter, please post that, and I'll click on it, and I'll maybe I'll be able to respond. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Let me see some comments here. Well, it's on one hand, it's so wonderful that I'm seeing so many comments, but then it's hard for me to keep up with all the comments. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. All right. So is it the Muddy G? The Muddy G, is that how you pronounce your name? If you just write your first name, it allows me to address you. It's up to you if you want to share your first name. Then I can address you by your first name rather than using your Muddy G. Okay, so, all right, Muddy G, you're writing, you see everything else but not that. Come on, you lost credibility. Did I lose my credibility, Muddy G? Did I lose my credibility just because I'm not aware of what Ann Coulter said, what you're writing, that Ann Coulter said something about Vivek? I have not seen that. Not seeing that doesn't mean I just lost my credibility. You're free to say what you wish to say, but I don't think I lost my credibility. I'm a public, I'm a student of political science. I studied public affairs. I like to stay informed about contemporary issues, social and political issues, both domestic and international. I try to read history. I do political commentary. I'm also a writer. I have written more than 100 letters to editors and op-eds. If you go to my website, you can read all of that. I'll post my website address again. But it's not possible to read every piece of news that's out there. So I have not read what you are referring to regarding Ann Coulter. I will look it up afterwards, and then I can perhaps comment on it. Okay. All right. So please don't feel like I lost my credibility. I hope I did not. All right. So Muddy G writes, you are aware of most right-wing stuff. I am a conservative, but I read a wide variety of stuff. If you look at my bookshelf, you will find books written by conservatives and liberals. Trust me. You'll see books written by conservatives and liberals. And by the way, you're saying right-wing stuff. I live in a very, very liberal city. I'm a conservative, but I live in a very liberal city. Madison, Wisconsin, very liberal. So, I'm aware of views and opinions of people with diverse viewpoints. Okay, not just right wing. Um, okay, somebody is asking me about Ukraine and Russia war. Ukraine and Russia war. Obviously, a very big topic in international relations right now. I have not talked about Ukraine and Russia war in detail on this channel because honestly, I'm not really an expert when it comes to Ukraine and Russia war. I have studied international relations because, I studied political science. So within political science, there's international relations, there's comparative politics, there's political theory, there's American politics. I have studied Russian politics, I've studied Latin American politics, I've studied, European Union, but I don't consider myself an expert when it comes to Ukraine and Russia war. What I can tell you is that I want peace and prosperity around the world. I want this world to be a more peaceful place. And for that, we need strong American leadership. I mean, remember when Trump was in office, there were no new wars. When Trump was in office, there were no new wars. And Biden came to office, and the war between Ukraine and Russia started. There's conflict in the Middle East. Somebody also mentioned Middle East. There's conflict in the Middle East. And there was a very, I don't know what words to use, but the withdrawal from Afghanistan, that was not the proper way to withdraw from Afghanistan. All of a sudden, and the chaos that took place, and how our service members were affected. I mean, I can go on and on, but that withdrawal from Afghanistan, that was not the right way to withdraw, okay? And that's just me saying things in very simple terms. As I said, I mean, if I go into the details of all these issues, regarding Ukraine and Russia, I am not an expert, okay? I do stay informed about what's happening there, but I don't consider myself an expert on Ukraine and Russia. But what I will tell you is that this Ukraine and Russia conflict, this conflict in the Middle East, and that withdrawal from Afghanistan, the way it happened, these wouldn't have happened if Trump would be in office. And the Muddy G wrote, "Good night, sir." Well, good night, Muddy G. I hope you'll come back and watch more videos. I've got more things I want to share. So I'm going to be on here for a while. Let me see some more comments. Jim writes, "Blessings all Americans." Jim, wonderful to see that you're here. Thank you. So somebody is writing, "What are you an expert of?" Well, I have studied political science. I've studied public affairs, public policy. So my undergrad was in political science. My master's degree is in public affairs. And if you are asking about my expertise, my focus, my emphasis, not for this channel. On this channel, I talk about social and political issues, both domestic and international. But if you're asking about my academic expertise, it's healthcare policy. Healthcare policy is what my specialty is. And so if you want to check out my website, go to my blog, blog, and you'll see my writings on healthcare, okay? Lots of issues I can talk about. Anyway, my friends, as I was saying, Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world. and he endorsed Trump. He is not only super wealthy, he is also an extremely intelligent human being. He's got a scientific mind. From running a social media company to sending rockets in space to building amazing electric vehicles, Elon Musk has a long list of accomplishments. And people all over the world know Elon Musk. And so when he makes an endorsement, that is significant. It is one of the most important endorsements that President Trump has received. Elon Musk's endorsement. And let's not forget, Donald Trump is back on X, formerly known as Twitter. And you may remember that Donald Trump was banned from Twitter. But when Twitter became X, however, Donald Trump stayed away from X after it became X. He stayed away from that site. He did not return, although last year, Trump posted his mugshot on X. But that was pretty much it. No other posts, none that I had seen. However, on August 12th, Trump came back to X. And now you can see a number of posts that Trump published on X since August 12th. So Paki Raju 786 is writing, so just because someone is wealthy, their endorsements matter more. Paki Raju 786, no, that's not what I'm saying. If you scroll back to the beginning of this live stream, you will hear me say that I'm going to talk about influential voices. I mentioned influential voices. Elon Musk has a lot of money, but I'm not talking about his money. When I talk about Elon Musk, I have to mention electric vehicles. I have to mention, rockets being sent to space. I have to mention X, because these are all things that Elon Musk is involved in. SpaceX and Tesla and X, formerly known as Twitter. These are all things that Elon Musk is involved with. And obviously, I have to, when we talk about Elon Musk, we have to highlight the fact that he's one of the richest men in the world. But that's not the reason why I'm mentioning Elon Musk. It's not about his money. It's about the voice and the influence that he has. It's about the reach that he has around the world. When Elon Musk says something, the whole world listens. People listen to Elon Musk. Whether they agree with him or they disagree with him, that's another question. But people listen to Elon Musk. People process the information that Elon Musk puts out on the website, on X. Right at this moment, if Elon Musk posts something on X, people from around the world will be reading that. Anurag writes from Twitter. Well, Anurag, Twitter became X. So Twitter is no longer Twitter. Twitter is now X. That's what I'm referring to. X, formerly known as Twitter. Paki Raju writes, Taylor Swift has bigger influence than Elon Musk. Well, Paki Raju, I am saying that Elon Musk is a very influential figure. I am not ranking the list of influential figures. I'm not saying Elon Musk is number 2 or number 3 in the list of most influential people, because influence is hard to measure. We can understand when somebody is influential, but can you really make a list of influential people? Maybe you can. I can't. I don't have the expertise to make a list of influential people and to say, this person is number 1, this person is number 2, this person is number 3. I cannot do that. I'm sure there's a way to do that. You can look at a few different factors. You can use methods of ranking. Maybe you can look at wealth. You can look at the number of social media followers. You can look at how many people repost or share somebody's social media posts. I'm sure there's a way to come up with a list of influential people and to rank them, but that's not what I'm doing. So, Paki Raju, when you write Taylor Swift has bigger influence than Elon Musk, you may be right or you may be wrong. I have no way of, saying you are absolutely correct or you're absolutely wrong. There's no way for me to say that. Some people might say Elon Musk has more influence. Some people might say Taylor Swift has more influence. I'm not here to judge that. What I'm here to say is that influential voices are supporting Donald Trump, and Elon Musk is an influential, highly, highly, highly influential voice who has endorsed Donald Trump. That's what I'm saying. Baki Raju 786 writes, well, the whole world isn't voting. When we are talking about American elections, the whole world is not voting because American elections are for American citizens only. So Baki Raju, you are correct. But what I'm saying is when Elon Musk writes a post on X, the whole world listens. The whole world, maybe not the entire world, but a lot of people around the world would read that post, including millions of US citizens. All right, let me move forward with the conversation. So Elon Musk endorsed Donald Trump, and Trump is back on X, and it is wonderful. It is wonderful. I love Truth Social. I am on Truth Social. I love the fact that Trump is on Truth Social. I love Truth Social. But I also love the fact that Trump is back on X. And it's all about reaching as many people as possible. And being on Truth Social and being on X would allow Trump to reach more and more people. So Elon Musk supports Trump, meaning the Trump team is becoming stronger and stronger. Remember when I said I'm not talking about the Trump campaign team, I'm not talking about the advisors who are working on Trump's campaign team. I'm also not talking about, all the Trump donors. When I say Trump's team, I'm mentioning influential voices who are supporting Trump. So Trump's team is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger each and every day. And the fact that Elon Musk endorsed Trump, that's major. And that's not all. Kennedy also endorsed Trump. I'm talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., endorsed Trump. Jim just mentioned Trump and RFK and Elon. Wonderful, Jim. That's what I'm talking about. RFK Jr. endorsed Donald Trump for president, and that's another very important endorsement that Trump received. I mean, I talked about RFK Jr., I think it was the last live stream, the previous live stream that I did, where I talked about, let me see, what was the title of that live stream? Let me just look it up here. Give me 1 second, my friends. My previous live stream was titled, How Will RFK Jr.'s Endorsement for Trump Impact the Race for the White House? And I think the fact that RFK Jr. endorsed Trump is going to give Trump a huge boost in the race for the White House. Paki Raju 786 is writing, the grandson Kennedy endorsed Kamala. You write grandson Kennedy. What's the name of the grandson Kennedy? I think more people know about RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., than, the Kennedy that you're mentioning. Okay. So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ran for president. And first he ran as a Democrat, then he became an independent, and he was gaining momentum. He chose his running mate. And, I actually talked about this in detail in my previous live stream, so you may want to go and check it out, okay? But RFK Jr., when he was still running before suspending his campaign, people were asking, RFK Jr. is running, is he going to take votes away from the Democrats or the Republicans? That was a question. Richard writes, Trump 2024. Richard, thank you so much. Trump 2024. I agree with you, Richard. Trump 2024. Baki Raju writes, we knew him because he was running. Majority did not know RFK Jr. before all of this. Well, a lot of people knew about RFK Jr. before he started running for president, because people who pay attention to politics, people who read history, people who stay in touch with what's going on among Democrats and Republicans, what's happening in the political arena, what's happening in the political world, people who pay attention to American politics, people who have been paying attention to American politics, they knew who RFK Jr. was, because RFK Jr. was and continues to be a pretty prominent figure in politics. He has been involved for a very long time. So when you say majority did not know RFK Jr. before all of this, that may be true, because by majority, I'm guessing you're referring to the majority of the population. But, people who paid attention to politics, they knew who RFK Jr. was. And now more and more people know who RFK Jr. is. Jim writes, was a Democrat. That is correct. That is correct. RFK Jr. was a Democrat, and that's powerful, because a Democrat who became an independent has endorsed Donald Trump. You see how powerful that is? Jim writes, now he is MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. That is absolutely correct, Jim. RFK Jr. is all about making America healthy again. And that's why he's supporting Donald Trump. Because RFK Jr. knows and he understands the reality. He understands that Trump is the one who can take the country back on the right track, who can make America healthy again, who can make America strong again, who can make America prosperous again, who can make America safe again, who can make America great again. And that's why RFK Jr. is supporting Donald Trump for president. Jim pointed out he was a Democrat. That is correct. John Kennedy was a Democrat. RFK Jr.'s father was a Democrat. John Kennedy was RFK Jr.'s uncle. And senior RFK, he was also a Democrat. RFK Jr. comes from a family of Democrats. And the fact that he transitioned from a Democrat to running as an independent, and now he dropped out of the race for the White House, he suspended his campaign, and he endorsed the Republican nominee for president, that is powerful. That is powerful. And so going back to what I was saying, when RFK Jr. was running for president, people were wondering, is RFK Jr. going to take votes away from the Democrats? Is he going to take votes away from the Republicans? I know many conservatives who love RFK Jr. And of course, there are Democrats who also like RFK Jr. So I think RFK Jr. has a strong following. He's got a group of strong followers made up of Democrats and Republicans and independents. And now, with that group of followers, and that group of followers is watching, and when RFK Jr. decides to suspend his campaign and endorse Donald Trump, that sends a strong message to his followers. We can safely assume that many of RFK Jr.'s supporters will now support Donald Trump. because they have confidence in RFK Jr. They trust RFK Jr. They believe in RFK Jr. And when RFK Jr. endorses Donald Trump, it's going to increase support for Donald Trump. Many of RFK Jr.'s supporters will now support Donald Trump. So, what a massive endorsement. What a massive endorsement. And that's why I am saying that the Trump team is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Elon Musk endorsed Trump. RFK Jr. endorsed Trump. Two powerful names came together. You've got Kennedy, a very powerful name in American politics. Then you've got Trump, a very powerful name in American politics. The name Kennedy and the name Trump came together because Kennedy endorsed Trump. Two powerful names coming together. It's making the Trump team stronger and stronger and stronger every single day. My friends, I'm going to pause for a second and see if you guys have any questions, any comments. It's wonderful to see so many people here. By the way, I'm going to share with you a link to my published opinions, a long list of published opinions, okay? I'm going to share that. You can click on that link and then you can read my published opinions. There are, the list has more than 100 writings, okay? And my writings have appeared in, just so you know, my writings have appeared in the Capital Times in Wisconsin, and then Wisconsin State Journal, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, USA Today, the Washington Times, Washington Examiner, the Western Journal, Boston Globe, Chicago Tribune, and other papers, okay? So, New York Post and New York Daily News. And so, you can go and check out my list of published opinions and let me know your thoughts. Paki Raju 786 writes, the Obama name is way more powerful right now compared to Kennedy. Well, Paki Raju, thank you for sharing your opinion. The Obama name, no doubt, is very powerful among liberals, and and that's okay. I'm not saying that Kennedy and Trump are the only two powerful names. There are powerful names on the right and on the left. On the right, Trump is a very powerful name. Bush is a very powerful name. And, on the left, Obama is a powerful name. Clinton also has a lot of power, has name recognition, undoubtedly. And so, that's fine. But Kennedy, the Kennedy name goes back decades. The name Kennedy goes back decades. John F. Kennedy, he was a Democrat, but he was a great president. He was a great president. And so, you've probably heard the term Kennedy Democrats, which usually refers to Democrats who are more conservatives, who are more conservative, not like the super liberal Democrat, but a more conservative version of the Democrat. That's a Kennedy Democrat. So, you can say the Obama name is more powerful. That's your opinion, and that's fine. Thank you for sharing your opinion. But the Kennedy name, as I said, it goes back decades. So the Kennedy name has come back. The Kennedy name has come back with a lot of power. And the Kennedy name is supporting, RFK Jr. is supporting Donald Trump. And Trump is an extremely powerful name in American politics. The name Trump gave rise to a populist movement. People love Trump. Paki Raju 786 writes, were you always conservative? I was raised with values and principles that made me conservative. Raju 786. I was not born in America. I was not raised in the United States. But I was raised with certain values and principles. See, where I was raised, there are no Republicans, there are no Democrats, because I was raised in South Asia. But I was raised with values and principles that made me conservative. So when I came to the United States as an immigrant, as a legal immigrant, I did not have to sit and try to decide if I'm a Republican or a Democrat. I didn't have to do that. You know why? It was very obvious. I looked at what the Democrats believe in. I looked at what the Republicans believe in, and I knew where I belong. I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative because of my values and principles. Paki Raju 786 is writing, what country were you raised in? I was raised in Bangladesh, in South Asia. And I've got videos talking about Bangladesh on my YouTube channel. You can go and find out. Bangladesh, a country that gained a second independence on August 5th of 2024. Originally, the country became independent in 1971, but in the year 2024, the country became independent again after a brutal dictator was removed from power, after former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled the country. Bangladesh became independent again. This is a new independence, August 5th of 2024. But I'm not going to talk about that during this live stream because that's going to be a whole new discussion, and it's going to, that discussion itself can continue for hours. Maybe in a different live stream I'll talk about it, or maybe I'll just publish a podcast episode on it. In fact, there are episodes on my YouTube channel, videos of me talking about Bangladesh, so you can go and check those out. If you want to know more about how I came to the United States, my journey as an immigrant, you can just go and look at the old videos that I have on my channel. And you'll know more about my journey as a legal immigrant and how I became a proud American citizen. I'm proud to be an American. Terry writes, maybe we should get back to not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. You know, Terry, I am so proud to be an American, and I'm always thinking about what can I do for my country? What can I do for the United States of America, the country that provided me a pathway, the country that embraced me. When I came to the United States as a legal immigrant, this country embraced me. The American people embraced me. This is a welcoming country. And I'm proud to be an American citizen. So, Terry, you're absolutely correct. We should all think about not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Collectively, that should be the mindset. And then it'll be possible for the United States of America to have peace and prosperity. We were on a path to peace and prosperity when Trump was in office, but then Biden-Harris came, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and ruined the economy. The economy lost the stability. Prices skyrocketed. Gas price is still high. Supply chain disruptions, border crisis, insurance premiums going up, people not being able to afford necessities, rent going up, mortgage rates going up. It's all because of the Biden-Harris administration and their policies. The Biden-Harris administration, in collaboration with the Washington Democrats, caused this havoc in the economy. Paki Raju writes, the whole world is going through an economic crisis. Different countries have different challenges, Paki Raju. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. My friends, it's such a pleasure always, sharing my thoughts and opinions. And I'm not done. I've got more to talk about on this live stream here. So I talked about Elon Musk. I talked about RFK Jr. endorsing Trump and how the Trump team is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. There's one more name that I have to mention. Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia. Brian Kemp of Georgia endorsed Donald Trump for president. This is a massive endorsement. Brian Kemp and Donald Trump were not always the greatest friends, if you just look at the history of Brian Kemp and Donald Trump and the interactions between them, their relationship, they were not always good friends. In fact, the two of them did not exactly like each other, as you can tell from previous statements that both of them made. For the last few years, there has been tension between the two of them. News reports have used the word feud to describe the relationship between Brian Kemp and Donald Trump. Feud. Donald Trump said things about Brian Kemp, comments that are not very kind, and not going into the details. It's pretty obvious. I mean, if you've been paying attention to politics, if you've been paying attention to what's happening in Georgia, what's been happening in Georgia for the last few years, and everything that happened, then you know that Brian Kemp and Donald Trump, not best friends, but Brian Kemp endorsed Donald Trump. Brian Kemp wrote, I look forward to working with you, your team, and all my friends in Georgia to help make America great again. That's what Brian Kemp wrote. That's what he said. And I'm going to repeat. Brian Kemp said, I look forward to working with you, meaning Trump. I look forward to working with you, your team, and all of my friends in Georgia to help make America great again. Amazing. Amazing. And Donald Trump wrote, thank you, Brian Kemp, for all of your help and support in Georgia, where a win is so important to the success of our party and, most importantly, our country. This is so amazing. This is so amazing. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to repeat what Donald Trump wrote. He wrote, and he posted this on Truth Social. He wrote, thank you, Brian Kemp, for all of your help and support in Georgia, where a win is so important to the success of our party and, most importantly, our country. Brian Kemp supporting Donald Trump and Donald Trump thanking Brian Kemp. They are both willing to work together. They are both willing to work together to make America great again. I keep saying, my friends, I keep saying that the Republicans must unite, and this is a sign of unity. Not all Republicans think the same way. Even within a political party, there can be differences of opinions, and that's okay. That's normal. That's diversity. People have diverse viewpoints. Even within the same party, people can have different viewpoints, and that's fine. But it is important to look at the bigger picture. We must save our country, and for that, we must defeat the Democrats this November. It is important for the Republicans to win the White House. It is important for the Republicans to regain majority in the U.S. Senate. It is important for the Republicans to grow the size of the majority in the US House of Representatives. And so the Republicans must unite and they must work together. Brian Kemp is an extremely popular governor in Georgia. And Donald Trump is the GOP nominee for president. And he's also the former president and hopefully soon to be president again. And so these two individuals must work together to defeat Democrats. Brian Kemp and Donald Trump must work together to defeat Democrats. And Georgia is a battleground state. And so Trump must win Georgia to win in November. And to win Georgia, Trump must work together with Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp, the great governor of Georgia. And so, my friends, I am very excited to see these major endorsements that Trump received. I talked about Elon Musk, I talked about RFK Jr., and I talked about Brian Kemp. And you can see that the Republicans are united because the Republicans understand the importance of winning the November 2024 election. It's not just about winning the White House, it's also about winning Senate races so that the Republicans can regain majority in the US Senate. It's also about winning House races so that the Republicans can grow the size of the majority in the House. It would be wonderful if we grow the size of the Republican majority in the House, regain majority in the US Senate, and win the White House. It would be amazing. Paki Raju is writing, thoughts on the uncommitted movement within the Democrats. So, Paki Raju, you're referring to those voters who are like, uncommitted movement. That actually was something that people talked about when Biden was still on the ticket, when Biden was running. There were people within the Democrats who did not want to vote for Biden. No thoughts on that at the moment, okay? I mean, on the Republican side, you see that there are some voters who are called never Trumpers because, there are some Republicans who vote for Republican candidates, but for whatever reason, they don't want to vote for Trump. On the Democratic side too, we saw that there were people who are Democrats, but for whatever reason, they didn't want to vote for Joe Biden. And I think there may be some who don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. No thoughts on that as of the moment. Maybe I'll address that in a future episode, future live stream, but really no comments on that right now. But good question, Paki Raju. And thank you for staying connected and asking your questions and sharing your thoughts. So, my friends, once again, I just want to highlight, please don't forget to subscribe, because once you subscribe, you're going to stay connected, and you'll get notifications about my live streams and other future videos that I'll publish. We passed the 1 hour time mark. We are past 1 hour 3 minutes. Right here in Wisconsin, where I'm broadcasting this from. It's 12:29 a.m. So I'm gonna end this live stream here. Thank you all for staying connected. I saw great engagement in the live chat window. Lots of people, lots of comments, lots of questions. I am sorry if I missed answering any of your questions. I'm sorry if I did not get to address any of your comments. I try to do my best to address questions and comments, to address, to answer questions and to address and respond to whatever comments you have. But today there were so many comments that I didn't get to keep up with all the comments. But that's okay, more engagement is always wonderful. It tells me that I'm reaching more and more people through this channel. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it. And, before I conclude, I'm just going to highlight that I believe in First Amendment. I believe in the right to free speech. And I welcome people from the Republican side, the Democratic side, the independents. I welcome everyone to watch my videos, okay? If you agree with me, wonderful. If you disagree with me, I want to hear your thoughts and comments. You can challenge my opinions, you can challenge my views, and I'll do my best to respond. And, I believe that we can disagree and still have a very nice conversation. And I believe in dialogue. So, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, whatever your views are, whatever your thoughts are, let's connect, let's have a respectful conversation, let's share our views, our opinions, let's learn from each other, let's debate, okay? Dialogue is important, okay? So exercise your First Amendment right to free speech. And thank you once again, everyone. Thank you to all those who tuned in. Have a wonderful night, my friends. And please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be back again with more videos and more live stream. Have a wonderful night. Good night, my friends, and I'll be back again soon. Thank you.